how to connect to your Nero Google Cloud project interactively. Before we get started, let's remember a few key principles. On Nero GCP, you get access to what you have enabled. This can be storage resources, like buckets, it can be database resources, such as BigQuery, or it can be compute resources, like a compute engine. Let's start by using the Google console to view storage and BigQuery resources. But before anything, let's first ensure that we're connected to the Stanford Virtual Private Network, or VPN. Information on how to install the VPN client is available on UIT's website. So let's click on the VPN icon and establish a connection. Make sure to enter su-vpn.stanford.edu and click on Connect. On the options visible to you here, specifically under Group, make sure that you select Full Traffic Non-Split Tunnel. This is particularly important on GCP since not being on the full tunnel may prevent you. This is particularly important when you connect to your Nero Google Cloud project, as not being on the full traffic non-split tunnel may prevent you from seeing some resources. Once this is selected, enter your SUNET ID next to username and your SUNET password. Click on OK. Activate the Duo Push. Approve it on your phone. And you'll see a banner pop up confirming that we're successfully connected to the Stanford VPN. Then open a browser and type console.cloud.google.com. You're going to be asked to sign in, so enter your SUNET ID at stanford.edu. It's important here that you enter your SUNET ID and not some alias. It's also important that you have access to a Stanford email. Otherwise, you won't be able to access Nero GCP resources. Click on Next. Here, authenticate the way you would normally authenticate to Stanford resources, so SUNET ID and SUNET password. Send the push notification again. Approve it on your phone. And you'll land on the console page. If you're connecting to your Nero GCP project via this method for the first time, it could be that this page appears blank. This is because you probably have not selected the project to which you want to connect to. So make sure you click on this arrow right here and either type the name of your project or search it in the list of available resources that are visible to you. So here we're going to type the name of the project that we have access to and select it from the menu. You may then see some resources populate. Here I happen to have some storage and compute engine resources. These are also available if you click on the hamburger menu on the upper left corner. Specifically, you'll see a long list of options, but you're going to want to select the storage option first. Here you can see that I have pinned this option. Pinning is easily done by hovering over the selection that you're interested in and clicking on the pin icon. So let's go ahead and select storage. And if you've never created a bucket before, or if you don't have buckets available on your Nero GCP project, this page may appear blank. If for some reason you already have buckets, then you'll see them populate here. And you'll see that buckets are effectively like folders in a directory. You're able to click on them and see subfolders, such as the one that I'm seeing here, with datasets and other nested folders. Now we're going to look at some BigQuery resources. So I'm going to go back to my hamburger menu on the upper left and select BigQuery. Again, if you've never connected to your Nero GCP project, this page may appear blank. That's okay. Just look at the resources here available on the left corner of your screen, and you may be able to type your specific Nero GCP project here or specific datasets or tables. They're going to populate below you're going to see that the structure is project name, dataset, and under dataset, tables. So I can click on a table, and I'm offered some schema information, some details on the table, such as the table size, and a preview of that table. On the console, I'm also able to compose queries by clicking on Compose New Query. If I want to query specifically that table, I can simply select Query Table. So these are storage and BigQuery resources that users are able to access via interactive ways. If you have compute resources enabled for you, so if you're able to run statistical analysis on Nero GCP, you're going to want to access another link. Go ahead and open a new tab. Go ahead and type the SUNET ID of your PI. In my specific scenario, I actually don't have access to a compute engine via my project, so I'm going to choose another project for demonstration purposes. So type the SUNET ID of your PI, .compute.stanford.edu. This takes you to a page where you're asked to sign in with your Stanford credentials. This is done automatically for me because I had been already connected. And this takes you to a list of compute engines to spawn. Depending on your compute needs, you can select any of these options and click on Spawn. Again, I'm not going to demonstrate this, but the experience to connecting to your spawn would be very similar to connecting to your Nero on-premise account. You're going to see a progress bar that is going to take 5 to 7 minutes to complete and eventually land on a JupyterLab environment. So I'm going to remind us what the JupyterLab environment looks like by connecting to Nero on-prem, but effectively you land in this interface, and on Nero GCP you also have access to a home and to a shared directory. So feel free to check our directories on Nero on-premise for a refresher on that. However, it's important to note that the directories on Nero on-prem and Nero GCP do not interact automatically. These are different spaces, and on Nero GCP, quotas may differ depending on the specifications set by the PI and the researchers. To disconnect or to stop your engine, it's important to go to Hub, Control Panel, and stop your server. Again, on Nero GCP, it's important to do this because costs are incurred when the compute engine keeps running. As a reminder, a good way to check whether you're connected to Stanford, Nero GCP, or Nero on-premise is to refer to the address bar located here. If you're on a Nero GCP project, you're going to see the name of your PI instead of Nero. If you're on Nero on-premise, you're going to see the name Nero.